Good morning, friends. It's nice to see on a Sunday morning such a good attendance. I must congratulate Kaho for making this arrangement. I'm going to start by asking you to think of a craftsman. The craftsman that built the Madurai temples, the Taj Mahal, the pyramids in Egypt, the Buckingham Palace, Vatican. What attributes do you associate with that craftsman? You probably are thinking of customer. He understood customer needs. He translated those needs into features. He benchmarked those features to be best in class. The reputation of his family for generations to come depended on the quality of work he did. He also benchmarked the practices followed for delivering an output. And he had capabilities, which we call in today's jargon, process capability, to deliver excellence. So what happened to this craftsman? Came industrialization. And in industrialization, work got divided into silos. We call them functions. What happened to quality? It went down. The craftsman's quality went down. Came the First World War. People working in factories were called to the battlefront. Most of them did not come back. So factories were left to be run by elders who did not go to the battlefront, and with housewives and children who were not in those days that educated. The elders did the planning, and the housewives did the doing. In today's parlance, we call it staff and line. Now, this model obviously is out of date. And the purpose of quality is to break these functional barriers and to allow line people to do their own planning, because education levels are very different today. Came the Second World War. I'll take you through a fable from now on. This quality fable that follows demonstrates quality is not just an organizational strategy, it must be a national strategy. The primary objective of any organization should be quality improvement. From bad quality to good quality is the name of the fable. When Japan came out of the Second World War, a shattered economy, no buying power, but with a great desire to survive and succeed. So the Emperor of Japan invited the industry leaders to explore with them the options available. They looked around, and the model of Great Britain, also an island economy, appealed to them. Britain imported materials from the colonies and exported back to the colonies after adding some value. Do any of you remember a mill called Binny's in Chennai? Our school uniforms were made from Binny's. The cotton went from India, got processed, and came back. The Japanese felt they had strategic advantage in terms of low labor cost. So they chose to compete in the colonies with simple products, notebooks, toys, basic fabrics, made in Japan. Did this work? Made in Japan was the standard for bad quality. It was junk. Do you remember a film called, or Raj Kapoor singing a song, Mera Juta Hai Japani? Do you remember that? What was the shoe? Torn. Low labor cost cannot be a sustainable strategy. So the emperor once again called industry leaders. This time, he invited the quality guru, Dr. Joseph Juran, to come and teach the industry leaders quality improvement that leads to cost reduction. He tirelessly worked with industry leaders on the shop floor, teaching them from symptom to cause to remedy. From symptom to cause, diagnosis, and from cause to remedy, the remedy. He also told them that by improving their processes, they could save a whole lot of money. The cost of poor quality in any organization is 1/3 the total cost. That is in batch mode manufacturing. In service industry, it is even higher because people are engaged in the process. They worked on it. And in the field of entertainment electronics, they took on the world heavyweights, RCA, Grundig, Bush, Philips, Zenith. What were the unknown brands? Sony and Panasonic. They could replicate a design of their benchmarks and do it faster, better, cheaper. They could sell their products in America at a price that was lower than the cost to produce and still made profit in spite of higher logistic costs. Can you see the power of improvement? Make a habit of it. Reduce your costs. Make your hospitals profitable. Quality improvement for cost reduction was a strategy. Made in Japan became the standard for good quality. This was extended then to the auto industry, and the benefit was felt post the OPEC crisis, when the price of oil went up from $3 to $30 overnight in the 70s. The Japanese used quality improvement to build fuel-efficient cars. So what rolled into the USA were subcompact Toyota Corolla, two-door, four-cylinder, mind you, a Datsun 510, two-door, four-cylinder, and they took on the guzzling car market. America had eight-cylinder cars with guzzled oil. So they competed. This led to breaking the backbone of the US economy. And therefore, the industry appealed to the Secretary of Commerce called Baldrige, Malcolm Baldrige. Have you heard the name Malcolm Baldrige? Said, we have to save the auto industry. We have to contain this Japanese economic aggression. So the first thing they did was try and understand what the Japanese did. They realized that quality for them was a top-down subject, not a bottom-up subject as was in America. Quality is not fully delegable. It is the responsibility of the leadership. They learned that if you integrate quality into your strategy, you will get there. But if quality does not find a place in your strategic planning, it'll just be another operational activity. Quality is defined by the customer. The final customer is, final inspector is customer. Who pays your salary? Customer. Remember that, and you will have a quality organization. Employees. Employees are the only asset of an organization that appreciate in value. All other assets depreciate. Yet, we show assets as equipment as an asset and people as a cost. It should be the other way around. People make quality. I can replicate your hospital, I can replicate your equipment, I can't replicate the people. So how do you bring in this culture change? The culture change happens when the leader puts quality as number one on its agenda. The leadership team, when you have a meeting, don't keep quality at that last thing. Let it be the first thing on the agenda. Everything else will follow. Leaders must be the role model on quality. They must actually work on projects with teams. All this was expected. Now do I have time? Yeah. Let's take an example. Because Japanese cars went into the USA, what did America do? Put trade barriers. Restrict the import of Japanese cars. That's what all good governments would do. The Japanese and the emperor met once again and said, if that is the case, then we are going to lose our biggest market, our A category market. We need to find a solution. They found a legal solution. There is no restriction on investing in the USA. buy the sick units. And that's what they did. They gave the people back their jobs. And here's a hypothetical situation. They invited all the laid off workers for a meeting like this. And the first announcement they made is, your jobs are secure. Now, in an environment of America where hire fire can happen in a week, to be told your jobs are secure. But they will be secure if we do a few things. First, tidy up the 100 square feet you occupy. Housekeeping is a prerequisite for creating a quality culture. Housekeeping. So they went back, called them again. This time they said, do you have any accidents in the plant? No, we can't remember. There was an eye burn of maybe 2 years ago or something. Oh, there was an eye burn. The Japanese sat with the Americans as a team to improve the quality of that process. What were they addressing? Worker safety. Give dignity to the worker. Give them a clean place to work. Look after their safety. And then when you expect quality, they'll happily do it. They'll happily do it. They converted sick units into very productive units without any further capital investment. Coming back to the story, the Malcolm Baldrige Award was born for excellence. At the same time, Europe was unifying. And they needed to create a common quality culture. So they adopted the ISO 9000 standard. And in the mid-80s to the late 80s, ISO 9000 was the buzzword for quality. Did quality happen? No. But an important thing happened, that the documentation for information I need to take quality decisions happened. Unfortunately, in India, we started flagging, I'm an ISO company, as though I produce quality. No, you only tell me now that you are looking after the data that I can ask for as a buyer. It did not deliver results, but it is an important part of the journey to excellence. Why do I say that? Let's take a leaf out of vertical management, functional management. We manage with financial management, financial planning, financial control, financial improvement. Financial planning gives you the budget. Financial control, you take the figures from the budget, the MIS tells you what action to take, and when you see some extraordinary numbers, you want a task force to improve that. You're familiar with that. We need the same three processes to manage for quality, but this is horizontal. The processes run horizontally. Quality planning, quality control, quality improvement. Quality planning is about who's the customer? Do I have the right features? And do I have a capable process? With an incapable process, how can I expect customer satisfaction? Process capability is to quality planning what budgeting is to financial planning. With an ill-defined budget, can you be sure of profit? With an incapable process, can you be sure of customer satisfaction? Then there's quality control, and where you maintain the standards, and improvement where you challenge the standard. What I want to emphasize is that you manage for finance and you manage for quality with data that you get from a system. The fact that your financial accounts are audited does not mean you make profit. The fact that your quality system is audited does not mean you make quality. It only means you will consistently do what you said you will do. I've heard the bell, and I'll wrap up the session with some lessons learned. Quality is not just an organizational strategy, it must be a national strategy. Our municipalities should follow quality practice. Our governments should have a ministry for quality. Low labor cost is a myopic strategy. Cost of poor quality in any organization is 1/3 of total costs. Our job is to unearth this chronic waste, these chronic problems. We know sporadic problems where we extinguish the fire. What we're looking for is what causes the fire. The primary objective of any organization should be quality improvement. Cost reduction should be a byproduct of quality improvement. Functions are vertical: financial planning, control, improvement. Processes are horizontal, they deliver to the customer. Processes are cross-functional. Quality planning, quality control, quality improvement. Efficiency of your process will give you COPQ going down. Higher quality costs less. Process effectiveness, customer satisfaction going up. Higher quality costs more. Thank you.
Requesting our chairpersons to kindly summarize Mr. Suresh Lulla's presentation before I open the floor for the Kimpro presentations.
I think you just heard a masterly exposition on the historical aspects of process improvement and the industrialization that occurred since the war. I think he took lessons from how Japan improved its output through improvement of the processes, and he related it in many ways to that of the medical profession. I think one key word that he mentioned, that you need housekeeping as a prerequisite. I think in the medical profession, we often forget that. And we work as teams in a sort of house that is our hospital or healthcare facility. We must ensure efficiency and cleanliness of that house in order for your processes to work well and your outcomes to be good. Another point that you must take as a take-home message: employees are a precious asset. They don't depreciate, they appreciate. Whereas your equipment, although it's very costly, will depreciate over time and will have to be replaced at some time or the other. Not the employee. The employee is very difficult to replace. So you have to take cognizance of that message as well. So I think the challenge to all of us is to take Mr. Suresh's lecture and see how you can integrate it into your practices at your workplace to improve quality as continuously as you can. Are there any questions from the audience? Yes. One question. Yes. Do you have a mic?
The struggle that some of the organizations face is the difference between the external customer and the internal customer. Now, to my mind, the most important customer is my internal customer. So therefore, I would wish to seek your wisdom that I feel employees are most important. And if they are happy, they will serve me better. They will add value to the clients who come. So if there is to be a choice, I will choose my internal customers. Philosophically, I would like to know where you stand.
May I just stand? Thank you, Doctor. I'm happy to see you here.
I wouldn't miss your discourse for anything in the world.
You made some very invaluable points. The first is, while we talk of customer delight as the nirvana of quality, what is the prerequisite? Employee delight. You cannot deliver external customer satisfaction with disgruntled employees. The processes deliver not only to external customers, to internal customers also. For example, a surgeon doing an operation in an OT, very successful surgeon, and suddenly there's a power outage. And the genset, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, did not start. What happened to the patient? Died. What happened to the reputation of the surgeon? Went down. Where was the root cause? Maintenance of gensets, standby gensets. The interdependencies of our processes is like an orchestra. You can't be perfect in one process. It's got to be all the processes working, where you have external customers, internal customers, and I'm going to add 2 more now. Society is also a customer. The community is also a customer. They allow you to be there because you're doing good for the community, right? And finally, Mother Earth. Mother Earth is the ultimate customer. You abuse her, She's patient. But when she gives you a tight slap, you'll be extinguished. So you have a lot of opportunities to address even your biodegradable outputs that come. Don't treat it lightly. It is going to impact the planet. Treat Mother Earth as the final customer. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think with that,
Thank you, sir. It's a very important topic at present, process excellence. I've been reading a lot of research studies, and if we all know the ecosystem of Indian healthcare right now, past 1 year or 2 years has put a lot of pressures on the entire operations and business strategies and the sustainability of various healthcare models. Right now, process optimization has achieved the top 5 slots among material utilization, bargains of material procurements, capital asset utilizations, and creating new organizations and the business models. What I say and what I face the problem, sir, in process excellence to achieve, I need a digital nervous system today. I need digital nervous system for more than 600 processes because the patient is today mobile. He is from a disease called right now. And the expectation is right now. Right now, what is my TAT? Right now, what are you doing about my concerns? And if I don't address this right now, then right now he will put his comments on Twitter. And every right now moment I will pass to find out the root cause analysis, the trolls will increase. And the biggest damage what I will cause is the brand reputation in the social media, and which is so much so difficult for me to get back and cover up. And that is why the times have come. In next 2 years, what will happen is that as an operations guy, all my process performances will be on my mobile app. We need that information today, as rightly you have said, sir, about process capabilities, control charts, and the measurements. We need to take the decision right now there for the patients who are waiting for a bed and for the patients who want to go home at the earliest out of the discharges. To the microest level of processes wherein each employee's behavior has to be mapped and assessed, that where we are putting our energies, because we are right now on 13th, 14th April. We have almost finalized our budgets. I doubt how many of you have got the approvals for the additional manpower for the next financial year, and what are all the justifications what we have to give to our management. And the questions what we are faced is what? The patient experience is going very high and you have to meet it, but with the current resources. And the only options what we are left with is automate our processes so that we have the access of process performance at the right moment, and we can take the decisions then and there and improve it. And then only we can sustain the quality, because we have many softwares, lot of technologies available, but where we fail at the bottom of the pyramid in the change management. Because many organizations have different structures, different people, different way of being. Many hospitals we have seen across continent in India, more than 80 years old, and they have to adapt to the disruptive technologies in the times to come. Thank you, sir.
thank you. All right, so we had a very stimulating session. We learned we are global citizens. It's not only the patient in front of you that matters. Our decisions, our actions will also affect the globe and Mother Earth. I think one important message that Mr. Suresh delivered as well: break silos, break barriers, and look to improve your processes. So with that, I would like to thank Mr. Suresh Lulla for his excellent lecture today.
Thank you, sir.